In this part of the lecture, I would like to give a short overview on multimodal interaction knowledge and studies. Actually, in our daily life, we permanently obtain information about products through all our senses. We perceive our world in a multimodal way, and therefore it is quite important to take into account the multimodal interaction. Most of the product sound quality research, of course, is conducted for unimodal perception, but in the case we should take also account multimodal aspects of product perception, and we should develop some systematical aspects. Therefore, in this part of the lecture, I will talk on it. If we think about touch and vision, they influence very much our auditory perception. It is also possible that audition influences tactile and visual perception. It means that there is a big interaction between these modalities. In different modalities, for example, in audition, we have very fundamental aspects which are quite interesting for the multimodal interaction, like loudness and sharpness, also, of course, complex aspects. In tactile modality, vibration intensity, stiffness are some examples. Also, for vision, color, object size are quite important aspects. For example, some researchers have investigated that the size of the objects have an influence on the loudness. They found that, for example, large trucks induce much more loudness feeling regarding to the small trucks. But also other investigations which I would like to report them. For example, audio-visual interaction. In that case, Fastel and Menzel have conducted a research to investigate the influence of color on loudness. And they made these experiments, for example, with sport cars, also with trains. And they noticed that some colors results with a higher loudness ratings. It means that they presented some still images of sporty cars, and the subjects should evaluate the loudness of the sound. And the same sound was perceived louder in the case of red car in comparison to other colors. It means that some colors causes an audio-visual interaction, and we perceive much more louder. In this case, we talk about 1 decibel. Also, there is an audio-tactile interaction. If we take into account the whole body vibrations, for example, in a car, at the seat, we feel such kind of whole body vibrations. And in our investigations, we investigated an audio-tactile loudness illusion, and in that case, the simultaneous presence of vibration caused a significant influence on loudness perception. If an acoustic stimuli is combined by a vibratory stimulus, the level of the acoustical stimulus is on average perceived 1 decibel higher. It means that we perceive louder these sounds if we have at the same time whole body vibrations. It is not only valid for whole body vibrations, it is also valid for hand vibrations. For example, if we think about shaver or vacuum cleaner, at the hand we have some vibrations, and such kind of hand vibrations cause also we perceive the sound much more louder than without vibration. Some researchers have conducted investigations using hand vibrations and sounds, and they noticed that we perceive 12% louder as purely auditory stimuli. Of course, there is a big interaction, auditory, tactile, and visual information, and at the end, integration. In some cases, one modality dominates. In some cases, they have similar ratings. In some cases, of course, very different ratings. and in some cases they react redundant or additive, but in some cases there are also some synergy effects, complementary effects. I would like to give a short example. For example, for spatial hearing, audio-visual interaction is quite important. If we think about television, in that case, of course, the location of the picture and the location of the loudspeakers are always different, but we perceive that, for example, persons are speaking from the television, from the visual location. It means that in most cases, visual modality dominates the location of the aspects. Of course, there are also other studies, for example, regarding localization blur, and they have also some other results, but audio-visual interaction regarding spatial hearing is quite interesting. Similar kind of aspects is also valid for audio-tactile interaction. In our research, we noticed that, for example, if we have a tactile stimulation, we perceive that the sounds will be perceived from that location. It's likely that the tactile stimulation pulls the auditory source to its direction, its location. It means that in that case, again, tactile modality has an influence on the perceived auditory location. I would like to show my references at the end of the lecture. And if I summarize very shortly, today we discussed about the applications of psychoacoustics in products. We talk about product sound quality and discuss different aspects, different products. At the same time, psychoacoustics is very important for noise abatement and also traffic noise. We also discussed about binaural models. They are used for room acoustics and also for electroacoustics evaluations. We talked about also evaluation methodologies and tests, and at the end about multimodal interaction. Thank you very much for your attention.